So when we graphed using a table of values, we made our table of values, we used a negative, 0, and then a positive value for x. We input, we solved our equation, we found our y, we plotted, all that good stuff, right? Well, today we're going to look at how do we graph by finding our x and y intercepts. All right? So those are the 2 points it wants you to use. You can find the same line by using a table of values. If this side did a table of values and this side did intercepts, when we graphed our lines, they would look exactly the same, assuming we did it correctly. But whereas our table of values might have a couple of different points they used on the line, our x and y intercepts would use only those 2 points on the line. Does that make sense? Yes. So when you graph, especially in my math lab, it's going to want you to use those 2 points, the intercept points. So you can't use like the intercept and then another point over here. Even though that point might still lay on the line, it wants you to use your 2 intercepts. All right? Does that make sense? And a lot of people will go, but my line is the same as the line that they told me was the right answer. Well, yeah, but did you use your intercepts as your 2 points? Because if you didn't, it's not going to let you have it. Okay? All right, so here we go. We want to graph the equation x minus 3y is equal to 6 by finding and plotting our intercepts. Well, this is a what type of equation? Linear. Because this is written in what type of form? Standard, yes. So standard form, linear equation. Is it going to be a diagonal equation? Or a diagonal line, a vertical line, or a horizontal line?
Diagonal.
Diagonal.
It has both variables.
Because it has both variables. So is it going to be 1 intercept or 2 intercepts?
2.
2. Okay? So we're going to have a x-intercept and we're going to have a y-intercept. Do we agree with that statement? All right. So it's basically like working 2 little separate problems. Everybody ready? All right. When I have an x-intercept, what do I know about my x-intercept? That the point would be what?
X comma 0.
X comma 0. So I'm going to let y equal 0. Everybody ready? So I'm going to take the equation that it gave me. X minus 3y is equal to 6. And instead of y, I'm going to use a 0 right there. Everybody with me? All right, so let's do that on our paper, please. So we're going to keep our x. We're going to keep our minus 3, only instead of a y, I'm going to make it be times 0. And then that's going to still equal 6. Does everybody agree with that? Right? Okay. Negative 3 times 0 is 0. Everybody agree? So then x is going to be left equaling what? 6. Everybody agree with that? So what could we say our x-intercept was? 6, 0. Okay, so our x-intercept is 6, comma 0. Everybody with me? So far, so good? All right, and then it's like, okay, I've got a whole separate one over here now that I have to do. I got to now find my y-intercept. Well, when we find our y-intercept, what do we know about the ordered pair of a y-intercept? It's going to be 0, comma y. So I could let what happen? I should let x equal 0. Everybody agree with that? Same equation, because I'm not changing lines. So same equation. Only this time, instead of replacing the y, I'm going to replace the x. So it's going to be 0 minus 3y is equal to 6. Everybody agree? Which is really a negative 3y is equal to 6. So then I'm left having to divide by negative 3. So that y equals negative 2. Everybody with me? So what is my y-intercept?
0, negative 2.
0, negative 2. So then the only thing that's now left to do is graph our 2 points. So go ahead and make a quick 6 by 6 graph on your paper. Make a 6 by 6 graph on your paper. So go 6 in every direction. Where am I going to put my first point on my graph? No, at the x, on the x-axis, okay. Where on the x-axis? At where?
Positive 6.
At 6, 0, right? Because that's my ordered pair, 6, 0. So I'm going to put my point at 6, 0. Right? And then my second point, where am I going to put my second point? On the y-axis, which is 0, negative 2. And then guess what I have to do? I have to draw my line. Now, am I just going to connect my points and go point to point? No. Remember, now, one of my favorite times of the year, Dancing with the Stars started the other night. I don't know if y'all are a fan, but we watched Dancing with the Stars at my house, and they stress about extending their lines when they dance. So you are going to extend your lines, or I'm going to be Lynn Goodman and fuss at you about it. Okay? So you are going to take your straight edge. Let's go. Take your straight edge. If you don't have a ruler, what can you use? White when working. And draw your line. Extend it nice and pretty. Okay, extend your line nice and pretty. See, I love my math lab, but this is where my math lab automatically, you put the 2 points and my math lab automatically draws a nice pretty line for you. So I'll make you learn how to draw a nice pretty line. Don't hateful like that. Hey, send that line, put your arrows on it, because there are other points that are going down that line. What is this right here? No, there's graph paper right back there. You better get it, because we do not graph on regular notebook paper. Said me always. Then use that graph paper. But we're not graphing on regular notebook paper. Okay. Where's yours? Okay. Okay. All right, I like it. Everybody good with that? Yes or maybe?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so you got to work almost two separate problems, and then graph it. All right, one where we find our x-intercept by letting y be 0. The other where we find our y-intercept by letting x be 0. We get our 2 points. We graph them. Boom, there's our line. Okay? So it's like finding two points under table of values instead of having to do 3. Everybody okay? All right, perfect.